The Concorde crash in 2000 was a shocking accident in the aviation community and indeed the world. All 109 on board were killed as well as 4 on the ground. It was one of the many factors that sealed Concorde's fate. But there was another accident that nearly happened that day that could have changed the world, and the fate of Concorde might have happened quicker than it did. Charles de Gaulle was very busy on that day. Many planes were landing and taking off, and others were waiting to taxi to terminals. One of these planes was a Boeing 747, owned by Air France. The 747 was waiting to taxi across the runway on its way to the terminal, the same runway that moments later the ill-fated Concorde was to take off from. On board the 747 was a very important person, a VIP, the most powerful man in France, the then President Jacques Chirac, and his wife. Chirac was returning from a G8 summit in Japan earlier that week. The Concorde began to take off. People in the 747 began to look as the greatest commercial aircraft ever made began to depart. When the Concorde hit the metal strip on the runway, its tire burst. Along with the fire, it started another problem, however. During maintenance 7 days earlier, a spacer was removed off of the landing gear. This spacer kept the wheels locked in place so that they would not get out of alignment. When the tire burst, it was able to wobble around since the spacer was missing. It caused Concorde to veer off to the left of the runway and almost off of it as well. In its path was the 747 with Chirac on board. The Concorde reached V1 and took off. It was a very close call. The two planes came within 30 feet of hitting each other, or about 9 meters. Had they hit, it is very possible that more lives would have been lost on that day, and one of them may have been Chirac. The President of France was 30 feet away from possible death. Many people did not know about this. In 2003, a book called Supersonic Secrets was published, in which this incident was talked about. It was only then that many learned that the President of France was nearly killed. There is, however, one interesting fact about this close call. That infamous photograph of Concorde in flames as it took off. The photo was taken by a passenger on board the 747. Another interesting fact is that this is one of 4 photos taken from the 747, not just one. Along with these, there are many other photographs and videos of Concorde in its final moments. From CCTVs, amateur photographers, and aviation enthusiasts, watching in horror as the grandest of all planes went down in flames, and with it, the supersonic dream. That is, for now. And thank you for watching.